What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa, and with me, as always, the great and the powerful Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
Ooh, we got a good one for you guys tonight. We got a lot of shit to talk about. God damn. But before we do all that, we got to figure out what we're drinking tonight. Tonight's brew is from the Sideward Brewing Company, a local favorite. I don't even have to pull it out.
No.
It's the Witchhammer Double IPA. This was part of their can release, what was it, like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, where they had like a double can release. Whatever. It's
some time
great.
ago. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna figure it out.
Sure.
The stuff that we've had from them has historically been fantastic, and so hopefully this keeps with that trend, right? Mm-hmm. What's on tap for tonight? We got a lot of music shit that we got to cover. We don't get to sit on music stuff as much as we would like to, and so we're going to get into that. We finally get to figure out why Snoop Dogg took all the Death Row albums off of streaming services, and why Blackstar is not on streaming services. It's an exciting time for music. All of these great albums are coming out this year, and yet there are still some artists who are like, nah.
You can't listen to it.
Not in the way that you want to.
Yeah.
And the real GOAT, the real greatest of all time, some would argue. I don't know if it's me. We'll get into it.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
I like to tease him a little bit.
Kendrick Lamar finally announces his, what some say, well, it's definitely, according to him, his last album on TDE.
Right.
Could be his last album, period, or just his last album on the label. We'll get into that. Mm-hmm. Then we got trailer trash. With the new Thor trailer and why it's upset some of the MCU fanboys. Well, I honestly wouldn't even call them MCU fanboys because the hatred that I've seen has just been from like
a strange Thor cult. An OG Thor movie cult.
And last but not least, we have to talk about Netflix. We just have to because of what has been going on. What
the incredible meltdown.
Yeah, it almost feels like this company as a whole is throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah. And
so we're going to get into that. Maybe more, maybe less. Who knows? But we have to get into the show without further ado. This is episode 351 of the One Beer In podcast. Oh yeah. Oh, all over.
Oh.
Yep. I get it too.
Full. Look at that. To the tippy tip. We gotta clink it. Got a beer on the mic.
To the tippy top.
And the microphone smells like a beer.
Oh man, you can see it on camera.
The splooge.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I gotta put my face there.
That just means we're having a good time.
Always having a good time. This is the One Beer In podcast. All right. This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. As I said, episode 351. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for listening, liking, sharing, subscribing, downloading, all that jazz. We appreciate your patronage.
We do.
Obi, please tell the people a little bit more about what we are drinking tonight.
Well, as frequent listeners will know, Sideward Brewing is infamous for not having a cold read for me. Mm-hmm. I've asked them multiple times to please correct that, and
we've gone up there and asked them.
No response.
Nothing.
So,
tell us to get out.
I'll tell you what we have on the can, and it's the Witchhammer Double IPA from Sideward Brewing. And I will continue my read from Untappd.com, which goes to say it is an 8.3% ABV. Juicy Double IPA featuring Citra, Nectaron, Nelson, and excuse me.
You got it.
I put a little too much jazz on that one.
Yeah.
Centennial Cryo. As far as tasting notes, it's resinous, tropical, big notes of tangerine. Ooh. And that's all we got for you.
All right. Well, they got the what is that?
Necronomicon.
Mm-hmm. Somebody came in and asked for the Necronomicon at Red Light, the beer Bible.
Oh, yeah.
They asked for it, and I was like, I thought they were talking about a beer.
A beer, yeah.
And I was like, somebody called their beer the Necronomicon?
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking about it, and I was like, no, I've never heard. No one's done that yet. Not at least nobody that we have.
I know beer, and there's no Necronomicon.
Not here. Not anywhere. So then, yeah, I figured it out. If you guys are not from around here, if you're not from around here,
go back where you're from.
Get back from your came from.
Where you came from.
Get back to where you came. Our beer Bible, as it's been affectionately called.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I don't think that's actually the official name for it. No one actually calls. Other people call it that. But
yeah.
Anyway, our beer menu at Red Light is a brown leather bound book of all the beers. So
yeah,
someone called it the Necronomicon. Anyway, let's get right into this, okay?
Okay.
Because we got so much to talk about, and I don't want to waste any more time. I feel like I'm just talking out of my ass.
Let's not waste any more time.
Let's not waste
Please.
any more time. Not a second further.
We're doing it right now.
All right. So, hear me out. Hear us out. Tunes on tap.
Tunes on tap.
Like that. Do you guys like that? We're gonna workshop.
Yeah, we'll get a button to do that from now on.
Yeah. Well, when we get the
soundboard
back.
Yeah,
we'll have that. We'll have and much more.
The list is growing for what we need on that soundboard.
Yeah, we need to actually create a list, and then we'll bring it back.
All right, we'll do that later.
Maybe I'll be able to hook up I just don't want to lug around. My MPC is so big.
Hey, we're wasting people's time.
So, tunes on tap.
Tap.
Some of you guys may or may not have heard. If you one day were like, you know what, I want to listen to Nothing But a G Thing. Mm-hmm. And in the last couple of weeks or so, if you went on to Spotify or Apple Music, sorry, I knew that one was coming. I was trying to stop it and I couldn't. If you went on any of the big streaming services, you probably would have noticed that those songs are either blacked out or not on there at all. And an article came out about Snoop Dogg, who now owns Death Row Records.
Right.
Which, by the way, is amazing.
Yeah, it's like a homecoming.
Yeah. The guy to come full circle in his career to now own Death Row Records is incredible. He owns the record label, and he took them off of streaming services. Some surmised that he was creating the first NFT record label, which kind of sent some people into a flurry. Mm-hmm. Myself included. I was very upset about this news.
Yeah. If
this was indeed the case. He finally appeared on another podcast. He didn't come on our show, and that's fine. That's fine. He went on another show.
Sure.
Drink Champs with Nori.
Boo.
And he explained why he did what he did. You have it pulled up?
I do.
Do you want to take it from here?
Sure. So this is from Consequence of Sound. Quote, first thing I did was snatch all the music off those platforms traditionally known to people because those platforms don't pay, he explained. Snoop Dogg, mind you. Those platforms get millions of streams and nobody gets paid other than the record labels. So what I wanted to do is snatch my music off, create a platform similar to Amazon, Netflix, Hulu. It'll be a Death Row app, and the music, in the meantime, will live in the metaverse. So,
this is very interesting to me.
Yeah,
very, very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm torn in multiple ways about this.
Let me pause you there. He has one more quote.
Please continue.
Let's continue. I want to create an avenue to where I can show people how to not always have to go through the slave trade, he said, but create our own trade where we're engaging with our own fans that's buying our music, that's making money off the music, and then making us money off the music by it being traded and sold. So that sounds like NFT to me. A little bit. Right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Or it could just be the fact that like he owns the masters to those songs, and he literally could just create an app so that it looks like Spotify, but it only has death row albums on it. Could be that.
Well, yeah, no, I think that is going to be what happens, but when he says stuff about being traded and sold, that makes me think immediately about, NFTs and going into that
space.
Yeah.
And that is weird. I don't know how I feel about that. That one's still, it's kind of like, I mean,
you're either like really, really into it or you're not.
Yeah.
Or you're really, really not into it.
Yeah. I think at this point it's kind of hard to be on the fence about like what they are. And I just, at this point, knowing what I know, I just don't think that it's a sustainable thing to invest into. Yeah.
I mean, this may be a broke mentality, but I just don't have the money to play with.
Yeah, that's definitely a broke mentality. Broke ass bitch.
So sorry to everyone. It's disappointed in me right now, but
broke as fuck.
Simply don't have the money to play around with for NFTs and such. But
get your gains up. And I'm not talking about the gym.
I need those too. But I feel like it is pretty in character for somebody like Snoop to get into sort of the NFT game, especially with something like Death Row.
Yeah,
there's so much you can do with that, and so much money to be made. And I feel like a lot of celebrities, especially ones with hands in as many pots as he has, are 100% in on NFT. And
they really are. It's kind of wild to see how many celebrities just woke up one day and like some company came to them and was like, we can take that album that you did or that movie that you did or that picture, that super famous picture, and we can just make it an NFT. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Or just like we can just draw you and make it an NFT, and as long as you endorse it, we'll give you X amount of.
Sometimes even if not,
right?
They're just stealing stuff and putting it up as an NFT.
Yeah, it's just insane to me how many celebrities were so quick to just go, yeah, all right, I'll do that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, even some celebrities that usually seem to be very cautious with their image and how they're perceived by the media and by the general public, seem to have really fallen on the tracks, the train tracks of this NFT train. That like it really feels like some of them were just like, I don't know if the guys who make NFTs are really good salesmen or what have you, but it feels like it didn't take a lot of convincing for some of these. Like Dolly Parton is who I have in my head, who I keep staring at my always.
It's your true north. I mean, why not?
And I think about her when I wake up and when I go to bed. And I think about her when it comes to these NFTs, where it feels like she's one of these people who's been very, very careful with her image and very careful with how she's perceived.
Sure.
And then just one day she was like, hey, y'all, got an NFT. And people were like, no, not Dolly. I don't like the response from the public when a celebrity goes into NFTs where they immediately turn on them like, oh, no, now you're part of the evil empire. It's like, relax, man. Maybe it's a mistake, or maybe this person doesn't understand completely what an NFT is, or maybe they understand it completely and they just want to get a little extra dollars. Like, lay the fuck off. Like, you're really gonna turn on Dolly Parton?
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're not. The world won't let you.
No.
The universe won't let you. No. God won't let you.
I dare you. I implore you to go on Twitter.
I'd like to see you try.
Yeah, I'd like to see you fucking try. Yeah, so I don't know. It's one of those things.
Yeah. But
so back to Snoop Dogg and
sure.
It's troublesome if the idea is to turn these into like commodities that you trade like fucking baseball cards.
Sure.
That would
I guess my fear in this entire thing is that there's going to be some like stuff in the vault, like the Death Row vault.
Yeah.
That's like a demo version of some song, or like home video footage of Tupac or something, and that suddenly becomes locked behind an NFT or something, because I could easily see that happening. and make it just this really almost like the Wu-Tang album.
Yeah, the mysterious Once Upon a Time in Shaolin.
Yes, and just being kind of that all over again.
Shaolin shadowboxing. It's true what you say about the Shaolin. Could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous. But yeah, I feel like that is my main concern as soon as this came up, other than the fact that there's going to be yet another app to download, and I'm sure another app to pay for, because he's saying he wants it to be like Netflix and Hulu and Prime, et cetera, which, sure. And I think you're on the same page with me as far as it's great he's trying to look out for artists. At the same time, I'm not going to pay for an app for one record label,
right?
Especially one that isn't current. I'm sorry, Snoop. I haven't heard anything in about 15 years that I'm into from you. I apologize, but
and not only that, but Death Row had a heyday that was pretty short when you think about it. So it's a handful of albums
it was a good,
that I would
5 years, maybe.
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, sorry. Chronic. Couple of Tupac albums, couple of Snoop Dogg albums. I think Corrupt album. I don't even know if Corrupt was even on Death Row. I don't even know if Corrupt was on Death Row. So, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like like you said, it's really dope that he's even trying to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard to justify with such a short list of, once you exhaust all those classic albums, it's like, that's it. What else do you got? I'm not paying a subscription service just to listen to one or two albums, which is
it's up to him and the record label itself to make that worthwhile. So, if the app is $1 a month, okay, sure, why not? I'll take it. But if it's more than that, which I assume it will be, you have to fill it with new artists, exciting new artists that people are actually interested in order to make that feasible. Because his vision of this is making a platform for artists to actually make money for their art, which is admirable, obviously. But
oops.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no. Okay, we're back.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, my point is, I think his heart's in the right place, but I don't see this working out unless unless tomorrow Kendrick comes out and is like, hey, I'm on Death Row.
Yeah. It seems like one of those dead end things that artists get themselves into, where you see something pop up and you're like, oh, they're doing that now, and then it just kind of falls off, and you're like, oh, I thought we were doing a Death Row app. What happened with that? And it always feels like you see an announcement for something like that, and then it just, I just couldn't see it. And like you said, what he's attempting to do is admirable, and the overall point is something that I'm seeing more and more artists subscribe to, which is that these streaming services are robbing us.
Sure.
And they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the truth. And this brings us to Blackstar.
What is a Blackstar?
Who? Me? What is a Blackstar?
I was expecting, is it a cat with black shades? Is it a black car?
Oh no, that's a good one too. I went to the hook, I think. Yes. I skipped ahead.
You
did.
I did. It's okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Old album.
Shining and shining.
Rhyming and rhyming.
Speaking of old albums, been 23 years since their debut album.
Yeah.
Blackstar.
Which was my Cheers of the Week a few weeks back.
It was. That's right. It was. Yeah. How relevant. They finally have announced they're coming out with their second album. What's it called? Google that for me.
Okay. All right.
It's fully produced by Madlib, and all signs point to this being incredible. You got a renewed sense of energy coming from both MCs, and what the fuck is that? Luar and Gasa? What the fuck is that?
I don't know what that is.
No Fear of Time. That's
Okay.
the name of the album. No Fear of Time.
Luar and Gasa is Black Space Star, as opposed to Blackstar, which is one word.
Well, in what language is that?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Well, if you guys just if anybody knows what Luar and Gasa, what language that is. Anyway, they announced this album, and it's amazing. Everyone gets excited about it. They announce a single, Mineral Mountain. The single comes out, and here's the thing. Mos Def, or formerly known as Mos Def, Yasin Bey, Talib Kweli, and Dave Chappelle have a podcast called The Midnight Miracle. It's on the reader/podcast app Luminary. It's exclusive to that app. And so that might be why this may be the first time that you've heard of this. And the album gets announced, and it's only going to be available on the app Luminary. And their first single is only available on the app. You have to subscribe to this app. It is a paid service. If you want to hear any of this stuff from Blackstar or Dave Chappelle or the podcast, you have to pay for this service, Luminary. Now, obviously, you can get the 7-day free trial if you just want to listen to the album for a couple days and like get it and then cancel the free service. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that people can do that.
You could do that.
The overall point is, who wins here? And, you know, I understand trying to figure out ways to maximize the return on investment.
Sure.
And Yasin talked about this on The Midnight Miracle, where he was like, you know, I'm not just gonna put the shit out there for these guys to fucking make all this money off of us and we get nothing. It's basically
give them pennies.
Yeah, it's basically Snoop Dogg's point, which was that we're getting robbed by these streaming services. But I don't know if this is the answer.
Yeah.
You know, because I am not going to pay a subscription service to listen to one album and one podcast.
Yeah, so just so you guys have a picture of how much Luminary is, it's apparently about $35 for a year.
Which is not that bad.
It's
actually.
not bad. It's not bad, but it is still, you know, when we're talking about a lot of people, I won't say most people, but a lot of people in modern society, you have multiple streaming services already that you're paying for on a monthly or yearly basis. So at this point, I feel like we're like a glass of water that you can see the water like literally above the rim. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Anything else added to that is like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Right.
We're at capacity.
Yes.
So anything, even at $2.99 a month is what it breaks down to for a monthly fee if you pay that up front for a year. It's still something. You know? It's still something.
Yeah.
And especially if you're...
how much money are they making off of that?
I don't know. I mean, they are definitely banking on themselves as far as putting it behind that paywall.
Yeah, there has to be... They have to have gotten a lump sum deal from Luminary to do this.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way they didn't. That's the only way this thing happens. Unless they are, like, big shareholders within the company. Yeah. You know, like, maybe they all back this thing and it's, like, their own pet project. But
yeah. Or they get a cut off of any new subscribers because of the album.
Could be, yeah, could be. I don't mean to be pessimistic about this because again, I think their hearts are in the right place. How many people do you think are going to subscribe to this just to listen to Blackstar?
Dude, Their single came out, and it came and went. It came out like a week and a half ago, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it. This is Blackstar.
Because no one can listen to it.
Exactly.
I would say at very least put the single out everywhere.
You have to put the single out everywhere.
I would hope that they would eventually. Maybe it's just like an
I couldn't
early
even find it
release.
on YouTube, bro.
That's what I'm saying is like maybe they're holding it back until the album drops, and then maybe they'll have the single come out and be like, hey, listen to it.
Yeah.
Check it out, you know?
Yeah.
But,
man. That's tough, man. That's tough.
I mean, especially because obviously, like, people will steal this too.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, as soon as it drops.
As soon as it drops,
everywhere.
yeah. But as someone who's been a fan of Blackstar forever, I'd like to give them money.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, we both own that album, the first album. So it's not as if we are adverse to like spending money on physical. Well, obviously off camera you can see records, album, all over the place.
Don't make me show it off.
So don't threaten you with a good time.
I will.
I think that a better course of action is if you're not going to make it easy for people to just listen to, and you want to maximize your profits, you've got to. I would prefer to just, if you force me to go to Blackstar.com to listen to the album, and you got every penny of that streaming, or let's say you just put the single on your website, so I can't go to Spotify or Apple Music. I have to go to Blackstar.com and then listen to the single. And then the only way I could get the album was to pay for it physically.
Right.
I would rather do that.
Yeah.
Than you make me pay for another streaming service, because you look at these entities as these evil corporations, and I do too. I agree with that.
Sure.
If I can tell you this from personal experience. I made more money off of a handful of people buying my album on iTunes when iTunes was still a thing, than I did on the thousands of streams that I got from people listening to the 3 albums I have on streaming services.
Sure.
I made more money on one album when a handful of people bought the album than I have in total on the streams of all 3 of my albums combined. Now, obviously, I'm not doing like hundreds of thousands of streams.
Sure.
But do you understand if I was...
It's still a good case study.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, expand it, and you're missing out on even more money.
Right.
Yeah.
If every person that streamed my music was forced to buy it, obviously there'd be a lot of people who would just go, no. But there would be people who were like, okay, fine. If the only way I can hear this is buying it, then I will do that. And I probably would have made even more money.
Sure.
So I do understand the impetus to do something like this. But this ain't it, in my opinion. It just makes it harder for fans, and it makes it extremely hard for new fans.
Yeah.
But according to Yasin, he's like, fuck them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not putting words in his mouth. He basically said that on the podcast. He was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, real fans will find it, and they'll do. And it's like, but I'm a real fan, man. You're my favorite rapper. I'm a real fan, but I don't want to pay for Luminary.
I love you. Stop hurting me. No, I totally get it. And, I think if you ask me, like, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
20 to 15 years ago, if you ask me, is that the right way to go about it? I'd say, yeah. Fuck them. They don't want to buy it. Fuck them.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. Because that feels right. That feels good. But times have changed, man.
Times have changed,
man. And I did my darndest to look through the old Googs to see if there's any announcement of them physically releasing the album. I found nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that's never going to happen, but I think just like the single, they're probably sitting on it until it comes out and it stays out on Luminary, because that's what they're banking on right now.
Yeah.
But I'd say within about a year, we're probably going to get a physical release.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I mean, I'll probably do the 7-day free trial
Yeah,
so that I can listen
of course.
to the album.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it the day that it drops.
Yeah.
5/3/22.
Yeah.
I will be there.
And I'll be listening, and I'll enjoy it, and then that's that.
Yeah. Listen to a couple episodes of the podcast, and then
catch up.
call
on
it a
that,
day.
And then, that'll be that.
Right.
So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know where we go from here. I do know that I appreciate artists trying to figure out alternatives to the big streaming services because I hate them all.
Yeah.
But then here's the thing. To get back to what I was saying like way earlier, which is what I'm torn about, which is the fact that like streaming services have been good for artists like myself, young, up and coming, unknown guys. All I have to do is upload to these streaming services, and I can potentially reach, I mean, so many more people than I could have before.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I mean, if you don't think they have their benefits, I don't know if you're paying attention.
Right.
Like they totally do. It just depends on where you're at, and it's very situational. And unfortunately, I think for the vast majority of people, it puts them in a tough position. Yeah. Because a lot of artists who are kind of somewhere in the middle right now are definitely suffering for them. But on the other hand, it's definitely it is the internet is such a blessing for new artists and you know people who would otherwise not have a platform like us to be able to talk to potentially millions of people.
Hi,
hello, welcome. So yeah, there's obvious it's a double-edged sword. There's no two ways about it. Yeah, it definitely is. And, you know, I think maybe there would be power in, like, from the ground up, making a new platform for artists to collectively come together and be like, this is the artist-centric platform.
Well, that was what Tidal was supposed to be.
Right. But it didn't really pan out.
I mean, it panned out better than the rest of them, but yeah. Well, only because I think it felt really pump and dump from a lot of these artists. Yeah. Like, when's the last time you heard Jack White talk about Tidal? When's the last time you heard Jay-Z talk about it? When's the last time you heard Kanye talk about it? Like, these guys who were up front and center advertising it when it first came out. If those dudes were like, you know, let's say Kanye, obviously I don't know what his deal is with Tidal now, so maybe I'm talking out of school on this, but like, let's say he still had an investment in Tidal, because I don't think he does, and I think that's the reason why he kind of jumped ship. But let's say that he did, and he said, you can get Donda on everything, but you're not going to get the extended Donda unless you get Tidal. Yeah. It's just little shit like that where it's like, all right, yeah. I mean, I would love to use Tidal, period. But I can't tell people to listen to my music on Tidal. Sure. Nobody has Tidal. Yeah. They just don't. Yeah. People may have Tidal on top of having Spotify because they wanted to check out Tidal, but no one just uses Tidal.
It's a strangely hipster platform.
Yeah. But and it's crazy that it's so successful. It's still a thing.
Well, no, I mean, to your credit, I think the issue here is it wouldn't be this hipster exclusionary thing if all of those big artists were to have held the line and stayed in it. Yeah. If you could only listen to Jack White's new album on Tidal,
a lot more people would have Tidal.
A lot more people would have Tidal.
If 444 only came out on Tidal?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Listen,
of course.
I listened to a guy, Mac Hami, really great rapper. He just did an album with Griselda. He's done albums. He collaborates with Euro Droog. He has a relation.
Nas.
Yeah, nice. Dude, we got so much hate when we talked about that. Do you remember that?
Of course I do. It's front of mind. Yeah, I totally remember.
Yeah,
that.
Every time I think about that episode.
Well, no.
People are like,
here's the thing. You've moved on. I haven't. I still don't listen to your old Droog because I remember feeling fooled bamboozled into thinking that this was, Nas in a new era.
Well, not only
which we got eventually.
Yeah,
we got eventually.
We did get
the universe corrected itself.
It did, yeah.
But even so, I'm like, I can't get into you, man.
Oh man, you were missing out.
I know.
He's put out some of the best albums in the past couple of years.
And he's really mean on Twitter.
Yes, he is. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't seen his tweets in a while. Maybe he blocked me. He blocks people
I think he
all
did.
the time.
I know that I think you got some heat for saying something.
I think he might have blocked me.
He may have, yeah.
That would be amazing. So Matt Hami.
Right.
Matt Hami's a great MC. One of his albums, Matt Hami's Hard Lemonade, he did this really cool thing, which he sold the album for like $400, the physical album, which was incredible. I would never buy it, but it was incredible. And then for the first like 6 months, you could only get the album on, maybe 6 months is being generous, but you could only get the album on Tidal for a really long time.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like, at first it was a little frustrating, but like I was such a fan. I was so interested. And he created like this hype that I was so like, I was just so fucking pulled by it. The gravity of it, that I got Tidal to listen to the album, and it was worth it. Tidal is a good app.
Yeah.
And people don't know, because like we said, like these big name artists didn't like hold the line on it, and they didn't really hype it up the way that it's a good app. Like the liner notes are easy and clear, and they're right there on the app. It's the sound quality is great.
It's got attractive UX.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a good app.
Yeah.
It's just
it feels like a premium product.
Yes.
As opposed to like Spotify.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spotify sucks.
It does.
I don't know why it has this hold on our generation.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying this because of my bias about it. It sucks.
They've been making very small incremental improvements over time.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you now get occasionally the lyrics, you get the you get some of those little touches that you didn't get. You get like the motion graphic backgrounds and stuff, and like, that stuff's cool, but it's ugly. It's ugly. It's not super intuitive. I don't know. I mean, I still have it, mind you,
of course,
because I want to be cool.
Yeah, you want to be one of those guys.
But it's on PlayStation. So what am I supposed to do?
Right. I was listening to. I was trying to figure out, like, because at Red Light I brought back Reggae Wednesdays.
Nice.
So I was pulling up like different playlists and stuff, trying to like.
That's why you shared a reggae track on your Instagram.
Yes, that is why. That is why, because it's been every Wednesday. Because Brent was super into it. I was like, I went to him. This is off subject, but I went to him, and this is a little detour.
Sure.
I went to him and this was a while ago, and I was like, hey man, like, I don't know how you feel about this, but like, we all come in and we kind of like curate these playlists whenever we're working, and it's cool. There's a very diverse like set of music, spans like, indie rock to heavy metal to like funk music and yada yada. Obviously punk.
Right.
Brent's big punk guy. That's the whole ethos of the bar. And I was like, we don't listen to any reggae. Like, what do you think about that? And he and you just see his fucking eyes light up. He's like, fucking love reggae, man.
He has to.
Of course he does. Of course he does. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's get some more reggae. So, we started like slowly incorporating a little bit more, and then when I started opening Wednesdays, I was like, hey man, because one day I just played it. I just wanted to listen to reggae, and I knew it was gonna be slow, and I knew I'd be the only person in the bar for a really long time. So I was like, I just played it. And he was like, we used to do like reggae nights on Wednesdays. And I was like, I mean, let's fucking go. Let's fucking do this. Exactly. So I was like, we're bringing that shit back. And he was like, I would love that if you brought that back. And I was like, then it's brought back, baby.
Consider it
fucking
back.
Brought back.
Nice.
So, okay.
Let me know when you play some Buju Banton.
I did.
Thank you.
I did today.
You didn't tell me.
The champion sound.
The champion sound.
So to bring that back to this,
I'm sorry. Is that offensive? Can I say that as a Caribbean man?
We're both Caribbean, man. We can say that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're okay.
Are we in the clear? Do we get a pass?
I think we're in the clear.
All right.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
No disrespect.
I think that's fine.
No disrespect.
Oh, disrespect. Yeah, it's trying to curate these playlists and fucking. Speaking of Yasin Bey, Miss Fat Booty. I swear to God, I don't know who is using this song as a crutch on every quote unquote urban playlist.
Oh yeah,
but
it's there all the time.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I tried to create a list with Bum Bum, Sister Nancy.
Sure.
You know the
Of
song.
course.
Bum Baya. Why is it on that playlist? Why? It has nothing to do with Sister Nancy, reggae, dance hall, anything.
I mean,
why is it?
It was obviously used as a hip hop sample, but
Yeah,
outside of that,
nothing to do.
No,
Dude, it shows up everywhere. Even when I don't want to listen to that song, it's like, what about Miss Fat Booty? What do you think of that? It's like, I don't, because I've heard that song 1,000 times.
You like it though, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
You used to.
All right. It's not like we got any answers here.
No.
Because
we merely present them to you.
Yeah.
The questions, and you can comment with answers.
Mm-hmm. You tell us what you think.
Sure. Is Luminary a good idea for Blackstar?
Here's a question. Do you have Luminary? Is it a good app?
Sure.
Regardless of Blackstar and Dave Chappelle, do you think Luminary is a good service to even have? Because it's a thing, and judging by this website and everything that I've seen from Luminary, it's sleek. It looks great.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. It's an attractive website, which gives me hope that there's good product that they've, attracted over this time that they've been around.
There's somebody else that I saw was part of Luminary. I can't say off the top of my head. Just somebody I saw in passing was part of the Luminary I don't know, fold or family. Or, I don't know.
It looks like they have a ton of podcasts.
I think it was Russell Brand. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, there's Trevor Noah on there too.
And it looks great. But again, I don't know. Oh, yeah, Quali's podcast is on Luminary.
But it's on YouTube too.
It is on YouTube. That's right.
Yeah.
I just can't see myself paying for I don't know, man. Like Apple Podcast is free, and most podcasts are free. This podcast is free. It's always free. That's why I never complain when I hear ads, because I'm like, it's free, dude.
Yeah. I mean, people have to make their money.
Yeah.
That's why you better not complain.
Exactly.
When we have
I
ads.
don't hear that fucking bullshit when we start doing ads, because it's free. All right.
This episode brought to you by Luminary.
Yay! What if we got a Luminary? All right, one last musical thing, and then we already spent a lot of time on this.
Yeah, we did.
Let's just say Kendrick Lamar finally announced his new album, Mr. Morale and the something Steppers. Okay. It's a weird title.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's called.
Yes.
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
The Big Steppers.
The Big Steppers. So somebody said that, like, oh no, this seems like a weird concept album. Like, he's going out with like a weird bang. Like, I don't have a lot of high hope for this.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like
does sound like it's going to be a weird concept album.
Sure.
But if you're a guy like Kendrick Lamar, what else do? You know, first album comes out, you're a mainstream darling. I think, for my money, I think it belongs in the pantheon of great hip hop debuts, a la Reasonable Doubt, Illmatic, College Dropout. I think it's squarely within the running for greatest debut album of all time. I think Good Kid, Mad City. I mean, some people still consider it his best album. So if you're an artist with his prestige and success and critical acclaim, and there's a lot of people who still think that your first album is the best one, so you got that. Then you do the weird critical left turn,
sure,
and you put out To Pimp a Butterfly, and you go, oh, and now I'm going to challenge my audience with something that is not as mainstream as my debut album. I'm going to see how many people I can pull in with that, right? Then you do the third album, Damn. These are all his mainstream albums. He has obviously other albums before.
I was gonna say like Section 80 was really my introduction.
Yes, Section 80. Technically, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is his 5th album, so I guess they're counting OD as his first album.
Yeah, so my progression in Kendrick was Section 80. From there, To Pimp a Butterfly wasn't out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I went backwards and went to Overly Dedicated.
Yeah.
Listen to those for a few years. And then Good Kid, Mad City came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I know. This guy's great, right?
Right.
But yeah, Pimp a Butterfly, obviously, sort of, not everybody was with. I very much was.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate sort of a good thematic milieu, if you will.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, Damn seemed kind of a middle ground, a happy middle ground for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, it had some bops, also had social commentary. It felt cohesive.
Damn, to me, has leapfrogged all of his albums and is now my favorite Kendrick Lamar album. Yeah.
Interesting.
It used to be To Pimp a Butterfly, but Damn, conceptually, and the songs themselves, there's no... Every song stands on its own as they just work. And I feel like, you know, he took what people were doing at the time and he was like, I'm going to put my spin on this and do this thing that mixes, you know, what I'm known for and what I'm into with what people are listening to at the time. And he did that so deftly. To Pimp a Butterfly, there are songs on there that challenge you as an audience member, as a fan, that like sometimes I don't want to be challenged. I just want to sit and enjoy this and let it wash over me. Yeah. And Damn does this thing where it does that and still gives you the same kind of content and complexity that To Pimp a Butterfly gives you, minus the perceived challenge of the music.
Yeah. There's, I mean, that... To Pimp a Butterfly has a lot of like interstitials and things that link it together in a interesting way, but I have to admit I don't go back to it very often.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why. I'd be remiss if I did not also mention Untitled Unmastered.
Oh yeah,
because it is, I think, highly underappreciated.
Yeah. For sure.
Because people assume it's like a B-side.
Yeah, it's like throwaway project.
It is not. It's incredible on its own right. Yeah, I think it ranks highly on his discography. So if you haven't given it a listen and you're a Kendrick fan, please correct that.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I don't know if you can call yourself a Kendrick fan if you haven't listened to Untitled. How dare you?
Go home. Go home.
Yeah. Listen to the rest of this and then listen to that after this. So I mean, you know, it's coming. A lot of big albums are coming this year. You know, he hasn't released a single as of this recording, or even an album cover or any kind of details.
This is based on a press release.
Yeah, which is really interesting, and in the fact that he responded to a tweet saying that he retired. Some random person was like, Kendrick Lamar officially retired. He used that, quote tweeted that, and announced this new album, which was really funny. Yeah. And sent that guy into a fucking tailspin.
I saw that. Oh my God, Kendrick!
He didn't know what to do with himself.
Yeah.
He's still talking about it. And people are like, hey man, we got it, okay? Let it go. And he's like, hey, this is awesome. Fuck you. I'm going to talk about this for like a month.
I'll talk about this until I die. I'm going to tell my grandkids about this.
As well he should.
Oh,
it is fun.
Of course.
It's fun.
Of course.
People just are so miserable.
It's the internet.
They're so miserable.
It's Twitter.
God.
It's like the end of Chinatown.
Yeah.
It's Twitter.
It's
like, Twitter.
Fuck. This is now I have to live with this feeling for the rest of my life. Fuck.
It's Twitter.
Yeah. So PG Lang, he is still doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That's apparently his company, his website, or I'm sorry, not his website, his record label.
Yeah.
Or just his company in general.
Which is really, it was interesting if you click the original link.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was just a little like old Windows file.
Yeah.
And you have to like pull it to the empty
you had
spot
to, like, drag
for the file.
and drop it?
Yeah, into the file and then click it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was kind of confused. I'm like, I dig the aesthetic.
I like that.
Now, let me ask you this real quick.
All right.
And then we can move on. Are you at all afraid or cautiously pessimistic that he may finally be up his own ass? Because I only say that, you know, all due respect to Kendrick Lamar, big fan, obviously. But everything I've heard from him and seen so far has indicated almost a Donald Glover lack of I guess
humility.
Yeah, not even humility, but I guess self-awareness is what I describe it as. It feels like he knows he's one of the best right now.
Yeah,
but to a degree that goes beyond like confidence, into a place where it's like this feels maybe a little toxic.
Okay.
Like it could be, and I'm only saying that because I remember, I think it was maybe his last interview, or it was maybe actually a post on the PG Lang site.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that long,
the
like,
whole long
diatribe
scribe that he had,
about,
about God and about purpose and all this stuff, and it was
Yeah.
like very, very highfalutin and very, et cetera, et cetera. Which I'm not trying to say he shouldn't be all of those things. I'm not trying to say like he doesn't deserve to feel the way he does about himself, and by all means he's proven himself time and time again. But I'm a little bit afraid that leads to a bit of sniffing your own farts,
Yeah, it's funny that whenever an artist does something like that, you just, maybe it's the cynicism of American culture or our just growing up our age and going through the stuff that we went through and being cynical about artists. But yeah, you see something like that and you're just like,
Yeah.
Just put the music out.
Right.
I don't want to read this bullshit. I don't want to.
Shut up.
Yeah, and it's funny because you read something like that and your feelings are, with all due respect, sir, I just want to hear the music. I don't care about the rest of this stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody in his shoes is being like completely genuine and sincere and trying to get this point across. And I'm in the same boat as you, so I'm not dogging what you're saying, because I feel the exact same way. I saw it and I was like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't need this. But it's just really interesting to me because I feel like we've gotten to a point in our lives where an artist will can be genuinely trying to be sincere, and we receive it in a way that's like, we're so cynical about it that we're like, there's no way that this can be anything but narcissistic.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And that's how it feels. That's how it came off to me.
Yeah.
And there's another element to this, obviously, that I feel like as people of color, it is nice to see somebody, another person of color, that feels this confident about himself and about his abilities and about his artistry. And I am not sitting here trying to take anything away from him.
Right.
I'm just saying, again, it rubs me the wrong way a little bit just to see a musician and an artist kind of smoking his own stash, if you will.
Yeah.
In general.
I get that.
But I think at the end of the day, all that matters is that the music's great.
Well, to answer your question, I think that it could go one of two ways. It could be that, he has finally gone off the deep end and like is believing his own hype.
Sure.
Or we could get a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, which is, I think that was at a point in Kanye's life where he was believing his own hype the most he had ever believed it.
Sure.
And put out what I still believe is his best album.
And it only confirmed it once he did.
Right.
But then I think
and
that
Ooh. That is what pushed him over to a point of no return.
Right.
For sure. So, I mean, if this is truly his last album, then at least he will avoid that pitfall.
We'll see.
Yes. That's the only way that we can end this. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good albums that are coming out this year. A lot. You got this. You got Pusha T.
Oh yeah.
You got that Pusha T. Oh man, I can't wait. Yeah. Honestly, I'm just gonna stop it right there. Fucking Pusha T.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
It's almost dry, baby. It's almost dry. But I am wet.
Mm. Okay. All right.
Let's oh shit. We have a lot more to go.
We'll do
how do you want to handle this?
Our due diligence, but let's make it quick.
Okay. Let's just do trailer trash.
Trailer trash.
Highly anticipated Thor Love and Thunder trailer finally drops. We finally get it's more of a teaser. It's like a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
it's a teaser trailer.
Yeah. So we finally get our first glimpse of how Thor looks and how who's going to be involved.
Right. Him getting in shape.
Little story. Yeah.
Doing CrossFit.
Man, I'm so happy that I hope that it's just like a 80s Rocky montage and they don't spend a lot of time with him being Fat Thor. Because I'll tell you this, man. I'm not one of these people. I'm not one of these MCU haters who jumps on anything that I can to hate on the movies or whatever. The Fat Thor thing just
not a fan.
No, I didn't like it. Okay. I thought it was funny to do because it made sense that he had given up on life and everything, and he was just fuck, whatever, blah blah blah. I thought that part was fun to use as a device.
Sure.
But for him to be fat throughout the whole
entire
movie,
time, yeah.
I thought that was a choice, and I didn't like it.
It was definitely a choice.
I mean, he had to his armor was fat.
Yeah, he had fat armor.
Oh, I hated it. How can you take the scenes where they're in the end of Endgame when they're fighting Thanos and that whole army and he's fat? How do you take that seriously?
Okay.
It rips me out of the movie every time I watch it.
I see your point, and I raise you the half Hulk that we got.
That also rips me out of the movie.
That bothered me more.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
And it had its moments. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done it, but like Fat Thor, I wish they would have done it maybe the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
And then we get serious.
Yeah.
And we get the real characters back, right?
Because there's real moments of emotion and gravitas.
Oh yeah, the whole thing of him going back to the Dark World era and seeing his mom and that entire is very touching. It's one of the better moments in the entire MCU, heartfelt moments.
And all that stuff is kind of handicapped by the fact that physically he looks ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, same thing with Hulk. He's giving the autographs and stuff.
The smart Hulk.
All of that stuff was funny, but there's a moment where
and the taco.
How are you supposed to take him seriously when Black Widow dies and you're supposed to? I'm supposed to take him seriously now.
Yeah.
This giant.
Let's not even get into the Black Widow Hulk thing that they didn't do at all.
Oh, they ruined that. That's terrible.
But yeah. Anyway,
so the Thor Love and Thunder trailer.
Yes.
Yeah, hopefully it seems like they just kind of gloss over that, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Just be done with it.
I think we're back to Thor, but we're dealing with Thor from what it seems like in this trailer as a guy who's no longer taking up the mantle.
Yeah.
He's done with the hero business. He just wants to chill and live his life.
Yeah.
Which is a great launch pad for an adventure.
Yep.
Right?
Love it.
So, we know just based on knowing stuff about this movie that we haven't seen this trailer yet that there's going to be the God Butcher. is going to be the main villain.
Yeah, Christian Bale.
Yes. So that's interesting. And assuming that our Thor is going to be back in business to deal with that threat. But also, we have a return of Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah, who had sworn off the whole MCU thing. Kind of understandably.
Yeah.
After the Thor movies that didn't really do very well.
They very unceremoniously kind of thrust it out of the movies.
Yes. So there's a rich history of Lady Thor, who some people just call Thor and then Guy Thor.
Yeah.
Because apparently she's that cool of a character. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. I haven't read the comics that she's a part of, but from everything I've seen online, reactionary takes and stuff, she's very beloved and has a pretty deep history. Apparently, in some of the comics, she has cancer, but whenever she has Mjolnir and is acting as Thor, her disease stops.
Huh.
So there's obviously this pressure for her to stay Thor the entire time, and
Interesting.
Sort of a ticking time bomb behind that. And people are making these assumptions that, I know neither of us have probably seen the Dark World more than once.
Yeah, I watched it once.
Yeah, but thinking back, the story was, she had
Not good.
the essence of the
Oh, they're gonna say that
maybe caused her to get sick.
Oh, I like that.
So that may be the situation here. We're not sure yet.
Dark.
But yeah, it seems like that would be an interesting way to take that.
That
Maybe
was the Matter Stone, I think.
Something, I don't know. It's one of the stones. One of the
Yeah.
stones for sure. But yeah, so that's something people are thinking is maybe the way this goes.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, and some people are saying maybe they'll have a cameo with Loki.
Yeah. I mean, there's just no way that he doesn't show up in the movie. At least
Maybe.
he's been in all of them.
Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know the emotional beat to bring him back and say this isn't your Loki though.
I mean, but they've already set it up with all the TV shows. Multiverse of Madness is going to come out before Thor.
Yeah.
I think they're going to open the door for this. They're going to open the door, get on the floor. Mm-hmm. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
Walk the dinosaur, yeah.
So that there's a way that they're going to be able to do this.
Yeah. I do think my money is on having Loki show up at some point. Even if it's just a cameo, he'll probably show up. Yeah. We have Russell Crowe. I guarantee that's going to be a cameo.
Yeah.
It's not going to be much.
Yeah.
As Zeus.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So what else did we see in the trailer?
The Guardians.
Yes. Yeah. Guardians were there.
Yeah.
Lots of interplay.
A lot of cool Guardian stuff. That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. They played GNR.
People are so upset.
About Chris Pratt?
I mean, well, Chris Pratt, yeah, they're definitely upset.
I've seen such a backlash.
Dude, they need to let it go.
Yeah.
Okay? Chris Pratt, I don't know what kind of white they thought Chris Pratt was, but he is the kind of white that...
Not like this.
Yeah.
Not like
Dog,
this.
let it go.
Yeah.
It's over.
I mean, as it's over.
It's over.
As a, obviously, if you guys listen enough, a generally left-leaning man, let Chris Pratt be who he wants to be.
Yeah, man,
it's
fucking
fine.
Christ, let it. I mean, just let the guy be a fucking. Who cares?
Let him act. It's
Who
okay.
cares? I don't.
It's
dog.
all right.
At what point? I mean, all right, fine. Yeah, sure. The religious stuff is like a little. It's like a little annoying, but like it's only annoying. It's only annoying from people like myself who are non-religious.
Sure.
You know, it's only fucking annoying people like me who are like agnostic or atheist, who are like, ugh, it's fucking religious. It's like if that wasn't a part of it, like you wouldn't give a flying fuck. Like he's been the same dude, this doofus, boyish, dumb guy who's also like attractive and has a six-pack, and he's great in the movies that he's in. What is all this hate?
Which is great for Star-Lord.
Yes, he's perfect.
It's great for Star-Lord. I'm sorry.
I will not allow you guys to take this from me, okay? No. I love Parks and Rec is one of my favorite shows. I love Andy Dwyer, and I love Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. You're not going to take this from me. Now, I mean, him as Mario, that's a different story. That's a different argument. That's a different thing altogether.
It's a me. it's a me, Mario.
That's a different conversation, okay?
Yeah.
You're not going to take Star-Lord from me, all right? Stop it. Let him live. And people are, people in their fucking opinions, That's all. It's
right.
Their fucking opinions. That post that went viral about the person who was like,
it's funny because we're sharing our opinions.
Yeah, so. We have stupid people and their stupid opinions.
Make sure you made that connection.
I
stared into camera long enough. I was hoping you would.
I didn't make the connection for a second. All right, because I was like, my opinion matters.
Yeah, it's valid. The only one that's valid.
Unlike everyone else's.
Right.
So the post that went viral about the kid who posted, I remember when Thor was a serious movie. Oh, God. And everyone was like, it was never a serious movie. It's this beautiful thing we call revisionist history, in which someone wakes up one day and they go, it was different back in the day. And the people who lived it were like, no, it wasn't.
I'm going to make Marco angry. Cracks knuckles.
Oh, man, there's nothing that makes me more angry than revisionist history, I don't think. I think it has a special place in my heart. My hatred for things like that. Yeah. Revisionist history makes me sick with anger because it's always from people who weren't there, but speak from a place of authority, and that's what upsets me.
Yeah. Well, and then make it so it sounds like if you have that opposing opinion, you're stupid.
Right. You're the wrong one, and it's like, no, dude. I was alive when this was happening. I was an adult.
Yeah.
You were a child. You might not have even been born. You woke up, you did your research, you Googled things, and you saw on Rotten Tomatoes that it's hovering around at 60%, and you said,
I'm a contrarian. Yeah.
I was alive when we shitted on Thor and the Dark World, okay?
I was there.
I did it.
I was there.
I shitted on those movies, okay?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the original Thor is okay. It's fine.
Right. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's like all the origin movies except for Iron Man. They're all okay. They're fun.
Yeah. They're acceptable. They're fine.
And then the Dark World was dog shit.
It's awful.
It is universally accepted as the worst MCU movie.
Continues to be. It continues to be the worst MCU movie.
Yeah. So don't wake up and turn around and be like, no. It's better than Ragnarok. Listen, Ragnarok is universally seen as one of, if not the best standalone MCU movie.
Yeah.
And The Dark World is universally seen as one of, if not the worst MCU movie. Yes. You don't get to wake up one day and decide that those two things are flipped.
Well, you can, but you should shut up about it because you're not convincing me.
Well, it's people and a lot of people brought this point up. It's the same crowd who woke up one day and was like, the Star Wars prequels weren't that bad. I saw one person saying, and this is what really fucking sent me over the edge.
Oh, no, here we go.
This person was like, they weren't even poorly received when they came out. The real revisionist history is saying that these movies are bad and that we're the ones revising history saying that they're good when they were always bad. This person was saying that when they came out, people liked them, and now we are saying that they were bad, and the revisionist history is saying, do you see why this is makes me want to?
Well, look, because this is why. Okay, first of all, they probably weren't alive.
Yeah.
Secondly, what happened was everyone was so excited for a new Star Wars. Yeah. Right? Everyone was so excited. So when Phantom Menace came out, it was this revelatory thing.
Yeah.
And people were riding the wave, this crest of excitement. After opening weekend, that buzz slowly died down.
Yeah.
And we started to see the cracks in the armor of this thing. And now with time, especially in context of, having the newer sequels and the prequels and the OG series and all of this other stuff, the all the series that we've been inundated with, we can now objectively look at it and go, that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And Attack of the Clones, not very good.
It's not a good movie.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but I can guarantee you can see the trajectory of Phantom Menace being probably middle of the road as far as reviews go. Attack of the Clones being low.
Yeah.
And then Revenge of the Sith being higher.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I'd rate it myself.
Yeah. It's pretty much like the universally accepted, reception of those movies.
There's no revisionist history going on here. I'm sorry to break your perception of this thing that you thought you cracked the code on, but that's not what happened. People liked it at first because it was the only Star Wars, not the only, but the first official Star Wars that we got that was new.
Yeah.
In forever, since the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, if you think about it, I mean, from 80, 81, 82? And then after that, there was no Star Wars content. That was it.
Well, there was
cartoons and
books. Then we had in my day the revisions that came out in theaters again of the original trilogy.
Yeah, that's right, all those. Yeah,
the OG trilogy, with all the CG added.
Pew.
Yeah, well,
pew. It's so bad.
It's really bad,
dude. It's so bad. Pew.
And walking over Jabba's tail.
Yeah, that one was good. Boop, boop, boop. Why, man?
Yeah.
You just didn't have to do it.
You
just didn't have to do it.
Didn't have to. But yeah.
What if they stuck with the original plan and Jabba was just a guy? Because he was a guy. He was just a dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And then George was like, no.
We need something bigger than that.
Yeah.
I think it'd still work.
Slug.
I think it'd still work.
I think it works, yeah.
I
think it works. I think it makes it less fantastical, and it grounds the movie a little bit more because Jabba is a gangster.
It would be almost darker, right?
It would be way darker.
Yeah.
I actually like it more, but it's not as whimsical and space wizardy as...
Yeah, which is totally part of what Star Wars is.
Yeah. And I do like the fact that, a slug could be also a space gangster. That's cool, too.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's fun.
Yeah. Have a whole family.
Yeah.
All the huts.
I don't know about that. I don't like that. I don't like it.
You don't like the weirdly incestuous...
No, that upsets me. That upsets me a lot.
In Book of Boba Fett?
I don't like that.
No?
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Actually, I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated all of that.
Yeah.
I liked the idea of Jabba the Hutt being a rank and not the Hutts, like a family of Hutts.
Sure.
Who this asexual or I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't like it. And it's upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of the purpose.
Yeah, and they all just look the same.
Uh-huh.
No.
There's that one that plays the bass guitar, too. In the anime. It's pretty good. I like that.
Oh, so silly. I did like that. That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we got off track. The revisionist history and all that jazz, yada yada. Let's get back to Thor. The trailer itself.
Mm-hmm.
Forget what everyone else says. You watched it, Obi. Trash or not trash?
Not trash at all. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it looks cool. It looks like it has a dash of Guardians, which I appreciate. I mean, just the needle drop of Guns N' Roses. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Taika Waititi back. Forget it. I'm there opening day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I mean, these next handful of MCU releases, I'm really excited about.
We could spend a whole other podcast on Taika Waititi and the revisionist history on him.
Yeah.
You've seen this, right? Now all of a sudden we don't like Taika Waititi.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Apparently that's the internet's opinion. This guy, a year and a half ago, was the it guy of the internet. I couldn't fucking escape him. Well, I'm seeing all these women want to fuck him, and men want to act in his. No, seriously.
What?
No, seriously. That's what I've said.
He's a handsome guy.
No,
I'm not saying anything against him, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, women want to fuck him, men want to be. Yeah, this was less than a year ago. He's the internet's darling.
He was the Rat King,
and then out of nowhere, maybe it was Free Guy. That didn't help.
Oh,
have you seen Free Guy?
No. I mean, that's
it's
why
a fun movie, but his role in it, I could understand why people cringe at it. It is a cringeworthy performance. It's not enough for me to go fuck him as an artist.
He didn't write or direct it, though.
No,
he's just acting in it.
Yeah, he was just in it. Yeah, I guess he produced it. But, like, I guess that's why people are upset, is, like, he produced it, so, like, he didn't have to be in the movie.
Oh, shut up.
Doing that.
No,
yeah.
that's not.
Yeah, I know.
That's not. Not only that, though, he's producing on this new show that's been getting rave reviews and
that pirate show.
Yeah, and tons of great attention. Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah,
people are like rabid about that show, and it just got picked up for season 2, I think. So like,
no, Taika Waititi's the shit.
It's incredible.
I'm not gonna hear any
slander. No slander.
No Taika slander.
No.
And I mean, come on, man. He was fucking what's it? Tessa, what's her face? I fucking forgot her name.
Tessa.
The two chicks from
Tesla.
Dude, this guy was macking on two chicks at the same time. The two women from
Tessa Thompson
and Rita Ora.
Oh. Right.
The rumor is that he was in a throuple thing with them.
Oh, interesting.
Bro, Tessa Thompson and Rita Ora.
You can be in a worse throuple.
I would love for any of you fucking fanboy dorks to wake up one day and think you have even a sliver of a chance to get with not one, but both of them. And think you're going to sit up here and criticize Taika Waititi. I know that's a very shallow opinion. And I understand if you hate me now. I get that.
Tessa Thompson also in the new Thor trailer.
That's right, yeah.
Wearing a very handsome suit.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. Sorry.
I get it. That is a flaw of mine.
Ah.
I understand that I can be misogynistic in some aspects of life.
Can you?
I can be.
Okay.
I get that. And I have no excuse. And I'm working on it. But my baser instincts sometimes take over. And all I can tell you is that if I had a chance with either Rita Ora or Tessa Thompson, I would stab my brother in the face.
Mm-hmm.
To have a chance with either one of them.
Sure.
So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Anyway, do you want to talk about Netflix, or do you want to just
I think we're pushing our luck at this point.
Yeah. I think if we talk about Netflix, that's another like 30 minutes.
Let's save Netflix for next time.
Okay.
Because briefly, if you guys haven't heard, Netflix is in a world of hurt right now. But there are new headlines coming out every day, so I think it's better if we sit on it and see where this whole thing shakes up.
That's a good
shakes
point.
out.
That's a good point. Because tomorrow, by the time of this recording, there could be something else.
Yeah. So
let's just say, we'll just give you the bullet points. They have lost 200,000 subscribers. They are anticipating losing 2 million more.
Yeah.
They are cracking down on the password sharing.
Yeah. Stocks are down big time.
It's not looking good for the home team.
Yeah.
So, in a week, when we come back to record, we'll see how things have shaken out for Netflix. So we'll come back to that.
Indubitably.
All right. It's a good idea. I feel like we've made it to the end of the road, but before we get out of here, we have to do what we... I mean, I was just about to say, I don't know why the fuck you did that, but,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh. Ah!
See, that's what you get. That's what you get. That's what you get when you let your beer win.
Oh. All right.
It is time for the cheers of the week. So, Obi, who are you cheersing to?
My cheers of the week goes to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Cheers. Little film directed by two dudes that simply go by the Daniels.
The Daniels.
I mistakenly thought they were brothers, which they are not. They're very much not.
Well, they should be.
They should be. I mean, they're brothers in film.
They're brothers in film.
Yeah, they are famous for doing a movie that we talked about a little bit on this podcast in the past, Swiss Army Man.
Oh, yeah.
That was their big debut. And they're also famous for what's it called? Oh, it was a music video, a big music video.
I can't think of a recent music
Turned Down
video.
for What?
Oh,
Yeah.
That video was awesome.
Yeah. So they were big for that one, and I
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
a handful of other like major music videos that are highly visual. These guys are kind of masters of the visual language of filmmaking. I went out and saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, based on Michelle Yeoh alone, because I stan.
Yeah, she's great.
I mean, lifelong fan, and I was absolutely blown away. It's been a very long time. Some would say it's been a while.
It's been a while.
But I walked out feeling similarly to how I felt when I walked out of Scott Pilgrim, where I was like, this is a movie made for me. Like, it was crafted solely based on my likes.
Yeah.
I mean, just the action scenes, the heartfelt drama, the underlying themes of family and generational sort of trauma, and the multiverse aspect, this very like high science fiction kind of thing that they're playing with.
I had to do it.
That's okay. That's fine.
Didn't want the laptop to die.
I mean, and just what they give Michelle Yeoh and the actor who played Short Round in Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
who's now back after like a 20-year break from acting. I mean, just incredible meat to take off the bone, and they feasted, my friends.
They feasted.
I can't like. I brought up Scott Pilgrim because I have the same fear for this movie that it is such a weird and like niche and like hard to interpret based on a commercial movie that I really fear it's going to get lost and become this like cult classic. But I really hope it doesn't, and I implore everyone listening, if you've ever been a fan of martial arts movies, if you've ever been a fan of sort of sci-fi multiverse kind of storytelling, please give this movie a chance. Go out and see it. As long as you're feeling safe to go to the theaters, please go watch it. Give it all of your money. I plan on going back at some point to rewatch it because it really is such a good time at the movies, and I appreciate the Asian representation and giving Michelle Yeoh like a platform to really show her chops beyond just an action star.
Yeah.
I mean, just wonderful stuff. And I loved it top to bottom. Can't recommend it enough. 5 out of 5 for me. 6 out of 6 if we're talking bottle caps.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Best movie I've seen so far this year.
Okay.
I know it's pretty early on, but it's already ranking
Shit,
high.
it ain't that early, man. It's fucking April, so
I guess so.
about to be May.
Guess so. Yeah.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
Well, that is exciting. I've seen a lot of very, very positive reviews for that movie, and so this just kind of pushes me over the edge. So probably just gonna go watch it by myself because you went and watched it without me.
I will go back with you, please. Please.
Actually, you know what? I might take you up on that. We just go fucking. You want to watch it again? I'll go watch it.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll take you up on that.
Absolutely.
We'll figure out a day when we go watch it.
And the actor, just to give him his roses, is Ke Huy Quan.
Ke Huy Quan.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been doing the promotional tour, and he's really funny.
So enjoyable as a person.
Yeah.
I love the guy. Yeah.
All right. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't be more excited about seeing that movie. If you've seen the positive reception and then you hear Obi's fucking testimony, I don't know how you couldn't want to watch that. So yeah, I do. All right. My cheers of the week goes to Orville Peck. Orville Peck, if you guys don't know, hipster darling because of the mythology that he's created around his career, which I think is genius.
No, yeah.
And people will, I mean, we're fans of him now, but I think that a couple years from now, people will appreciate the genius of what he's done. And maybe they'll go back and listen to his first couple albums and like appreciate what he's doing and what he's done. Because some people don't. Some people kind of look at it like either a novelty or like a knockoff or like I don't really get it, or that it's not really, whatever.
It's like country western pastiche.
Yeah. Because the thing is, he does whenever you talk to like a fucking hipster and you ask them like their favorite kinds of music, what do they tell you? Indie rock, 70s punk, old school hip hop, and then they say, I don't like country, but I do like outlaw country, like Johnny Cash and like Roy Orbison and stuff like that. Yeah. None of that pop shit. And you're like, okay, cool. We can all kind of agree that that's, and that's kind of, he's kind of in that vein. He kind of basically slots himself into what a lot of people would be into. Like, he's gay. He's new in town. No, that's a John Mulaney joke. He is gay.
He is.
But he has a whole mythos around his, and which is like alluring to people.
And it's more than that. It's like a visual style.
Yeah.
It's an entire, like, what I would call in my industry like a brand guide. Like it's very, very much all to its own, like a thing. It's very well put together. It's very well packaged.
Yeah.
Which I think is what some people see and see as like a false thing and like something that's too prepackaged and well thought out. And
it's more of a product than it is an actual artistry.
Sure.
It's a thing that he's done.
Yeah. Where's the dirt in his eye, he's just some Brooklyn
probably in his eye.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Come on, that was good. Come on. I mean, what do you want me to do? This was good.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do because you said that, but you might want to bleep that one. That's all I'm going to say.
I might bleep it.
For future endeavors. When we want to end.
What are they going to do?
We want to get sponsors.
What are they going to take from me that they haven't already taken? Nah, I might bleep that.
In my eye and I can't see.
Well, I can't bleep it again and again.
You sure can. That's your punishment.
All right. Okay.
An old gumshoe and an old eye.
Stop.
I'm not going to stop. You're going to bleep it all.
All that aside.
Yeah.
When you take the music for what it is, Pony was a great album.
Yeah.
A great debut. And I think that Bronco is even better.
Mm-hmm. In between that, there was Show Pony, right?
Yeah, there was Show Pony, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that...
Oh, and the Unrighteous Bros, too? Like, that entire little two song thing that he did,
which was amazing. I'm glad you showed me that.
Incredible.
Amazing.
Unrighteous Brothers.
Yeah.
Incredible. A play on the Righteous Brothers, obviously. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Record Store Day release. Please go on YouTube. I implore you. Incredible stuff.
I bring this up to give Orville his flowers, but also because I saw Pitchfork's review of his album, and you shouldn't be looking at anything Pitchfork related in this year of our Lord 2022.
Yeah, with a rock of salt, not a grain, but a full rock of salt. Yes,
but sometimes I find myself looking at their reviews and getting angry, like one does.
Sure.
And this was no different. They gave him a 6.8, and I just feel like that is criminally underrated.
Yeah.
I think it deserves at least a full point more. I think it deserves a 7.8, maybe even a 8.0 flat. I think it's a fantastic album.
Yeah.
I think I honestly, I walked away from it not disliking a song on the whole record. Mm-hmm. Now, far be it for me to call a country album a classic. I don't know enough about the history of country music to call anything a masterpiece or a classic or like best album of the year as far as country music is concerned. I will say personally for me,
sure,
it has landed squarely in my favorite albums of the year. So I'm upset with that score, but not surprised that Pitchfork would like rail against something that is so perfectly a Pitchfork thing for them to like that they go, no. We will not. No. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Pony's a great album, and I think that if you're into it, you guys should definitely check out Bronco. I think it's a fantastic follow-up. I think it's exactly what you want from a sophomore. No sophomore slump. Mm-hmm. I think it's exactly what you want from a sophomore album. A guy who took the ideas that were great on the first one, expanded on those things, increased the budget a little bit. You can tell that it's more expensive than the first album was.
Sounds a little more lush.
But not in a way that is like too much. It doesn't sound like, oh, he blew the budget on production. It sounds like it's a better produced album.
Yeah, but not overproduced. Yeah. I
think it's fantastic. And I mean, god damn, this motherfucker can sing, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he can sing.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was very early pandemic, or maybe mid-pandemic at that point, but he started doing this cool thing of having, like, these little intimate live shows that was just, like, him with a guitar.
Oh, yeah, on his Instagram, right? He was doing the live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tuning into those was just, like, really helpful in times where there were no shows and like we're all locked in our houses with our own devices and not really being able to enjoy anything.
It's wild to think about
like
the
that.
stuff that was like blowing up during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like versus people don't even realize like that was solely a pandemic thing. It was solely how can we entertain people? How can we get people interested in our music?
Yeah.
Like, how can we, keep this momentum going? Oh, we'll do a versus on because two people can go live on Instagram at the same time. Like that's solely what it was.
Yeah.
And it's crazy now that versus is like this huge thing, this entity, this $1 million thing.
Well, I mean, they went and did the smart thing and made it a live event.
Oh yeah, no, I thought everything that they've done so far with it has been
brilliant.
Yeah. It's just really funny to think about like, man, there was this is a year and a half where like people innovated and thought of these like this guy DJ Nice, Club Quarantine. You probably have tuned into his Instagram lives. This guy's famous now. He's like a huge DJ.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was already relatively famous before the pandemic, but the pandemic pushed him over.
Yeah.
And now he's like this massive DJ.
I remember, I mean, even a DJ as big as like Porter Robinson, who hadn't dropped anything in a long time. I think he got sober and like was in recovery for a while. And I think during the pandemic, I remember it was like really late one night and it just said like Porter Robinson's going live. And I was like, what? And I tuned in like a 6-pack in or something. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I needed right now.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, there were little things that if we can, I mean, knock on wood, look back on this thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, And
Mark Ribier?
Yeah,
He
Mark
was
Ribier,
big, but he got huge during the pandemic.
Yes, of course. The horror movie host.
What?
The horror movie host that was all within the confines of like a Zoom call.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Another standout for me.
Yes.
There's been so many things.
What a spooky idea.
Oh, yeah. It's very creepy.
I still haven't watched it.
You got to watch it.
Well, I'm not gonna. Because I'm scared.
That's fair.
I see stuff on TikTok where I'm like, spooky, swiping. People will say, oh, they'll be like, are you also hiding in the comments? I'm like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've done enough.
I think we have.
But before we get out of here, we have to review these brewskis. So, Obi, please tell me what you thought of the Witch Hammer Double IPA from Sideward Brewing.
Sideward Brewing. Yeah, I think it is delicious. I think it's very tasty. I definitely get that tangerine that they're going for.
Yeah.
Which I really appreciate. I think this is a rare one that is just on the side of too hoppy for me. Just barely, though. Just barely. Just a wisp of too many hops. That it gets me in the back of the throat a little bit. And
too many hops.
It burns a little in a way that I'm not completely comfortable with. But that being said, I mean, it's not overly boozy. It's not unpleasant in any other way. And I think they really do themselves a service of having that citrusy sweetness come in to kind of cut things a little bit. I would have liked even a little bit more of that, though, and it would have bumped it up just that little touch more than it does for me. I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I really enjoyed it. I really did. I think that's just the one thing I would say I'd improve it on a little bit.
Interesting. I'm gonna also give it a 4.5, but for slightly different reasons. I thought that the tangerine sweetness that comes through pretty clearly is a saving grace for the beer. I didn't think it was too hoppy. I thought it was a little too boozy. And maybe that's the it's like what, 8%?
8.3?
8.3%. It's a double IPA.
Yeah.
It's a little high. And I thought that I don't know, there's that, and there's that tangerine sweetness that cuts that kind of helps make it a little bit more palatable. I just like it by itself is a great beer. Drinking multiple of these, which we're about to do.
Currently doing.
Is a tall order, but
I agree. I think if I were to have just gone off of the one, it'd probably get a 5. But one and done.
Yeah.
You know? With this second one coming on, I'm like, a little too much.
Yeah.
A little too much.
And that's the thing. Off of the one, it's like, but you don't want people to just drink the one. You want people to enjoy the thing, right? You want them to be able to drink the 4-pack.
Yeah. Well, this is where I feel like we can most help our listeners. So if you're going out to Sideward and you're trying the Witch Hammer, we recommend giving one a try.
It is highly recommended once.
The one. Yeah.
Repeats at your own risk.
Yeah, may vary.
Yeah.
Results may vary.
That's right.
But, I mean, I think it's really good. I think it's worth going out of your way for. I would definitely have it again. But again, just the one, I think, is good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you think the one is good enough? Do you also think that this one's good enough? Are we good here?
I think we're good enough.
I think you're good enough.
Stop.
This has been the One Beer In podcast from myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer. And always, 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 have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.